I grew up in Tupelo, Mississippi. I remember having big frame glasses just because they were cheap and I really didn't need them, but everyone else was wearing them, so I wore glasses as well. I lived on the bus route, but I would intentionally miss the bus in order to walk from school to home. Walking home was an adventure. I was cool. It gave me that sense of independence and of being a grown-up. I got to walk down the big street. It was important for me to achieve a college education, and I started off in psychology, but I changed my major after one semester of psychology over to counseling education because I wanted to have more of a one-on-one contact with people, and counseling allowed me to do that. I became ill suddenly in 2006. I woke up and put a fresh pair of contacts in and noticed that I could barely see. So I drove back to the eye doctor, and somewhat belligerent, I was like, you gave me the wrong prescription of contacts. How did this happen? And he stated, I didn't give you the wrong prescription. Let me look at your eyes again. Oh my, I didn't see that yesterday. I need to send you to a specialist. Driving home from the eye doctor, I got on the street, again in the South, a 2-lane street, a lot of trees on the sideline, on the tree line. When I hit that canopy part of the street, I couldn't see anything, so I veered off the right side of the road. I was terrified. I was like, what's going on? Picture taking a piece of saran wrap, holding it up in front of your face, and looking at it, looking through it. How cloudy it could be. Everything on the other side of the saran wrap is distorted. The eye doctor spoke with his fellows versus speaking to me. Again, my eye condition was never explained to me. He said, you need to be on the operating room right now. Finally, he told me that my retinas had detached. Never once thought I was going blind. Never once thought that this was going to be 7 years of darkness. Never once thought that I would end up walking with a cane, but this was the beginning of that process for me. I went back to the eye doctor for a follow-up, and he said, I've done all I can do. I've done all I can do. Go collect a check. Your vision is about gone. I could see silhouettes. I could see some color. Darkness, dim light was just like pitch black dark to me. I couldn't see my hands in front of my face. I lost an aunt, a grandmother, a niece, and then my mom became ill. I'll never forget the day of her funeral when she was in the casket. I prayed and thanked God for not being able to focally look at her. I couldn't see my mother's face in the casket. The last time I saw my mother, she was alive. I never saw my mother dead. I got tired of being depressed. She stopped and said, why are you so resistant to counseling? She said, either you've had a bad experience with counseling or you are a counselor yourself. You have a master's in counseling. And she said, Anthony, everything you've gone through over the past few years would have toppled a small country, and you're only a mere man. You're not depressed. You're sad. You're gonna be okay when you embrace your sadness. And I left. And that's the day that I decided to get some help. I come to find out that approximately 1/4 of a mile away from my eye doctor was the vocational rehab center for the blind. The rules in this place were somewhat daunting. The part that they didn't tell me, I had to wear these blindfolds from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, I don't understand. I have some sight, so why are you making me be blindfold and take away the little thing that I have going for me? The one little thing that I have going for me, you're about to take it away from me. Yes, we're going to teach you to live as a blind person. I fought it tooth and nail, as my grandmother would say. I fought it day in, day out. Why do I have to do it this way? Why can't I do it that way? I have to walk with this cane, the cane that I named Esmeralda, because I thought Esmeralda was an ugly name and the cane signified ugliness in my life. I hated it, but I did it. I started that program in September. I finished that program the first week of March. And it was also when I started working at a factory, because I refused to sit home and collect a check like I was told to do. I refused to sit there and let blindness take over me. I refused to be that person. I wanted my independence back. I literally moved within a week from Mississippi to Cleveland, Ohio. My grandmother almost keeled over. How can you live in a city that size and be blind and not knowing where you're going? I said, I'll be blind and living here, but I have to do this for me. Then something remarkable happened in 2015, January of 2015. Dr. Huang did his routine eye exam, then he stopped. He said, I want to do an ultrasound and examine your eye. I think I see something that I haven't seen before. He did the ultrasound, then he came back into the office and he crossed his arms and he leaned back and he said, there's something I saw this time that I've never seen before. And I want to offer you the opportunity to make your vision better. Better? He said, yes. The surgery was scary. After the surgery, I asked him, did everything go okay? He said, yes. I thought I would be able to see. Dr. Huang took the patch off my eye and I couldn't see anything. And I panicked. I was scared. I thought I was totally blind. He put his hands on my shoulder and said, calm down. You just had retina surgery. It takes a few months as you go through the healing process because it's a very delicate surgery. He said it's going to take a while for you to get your vision back. I said, okay. But there was something about the kitchen counter that was different to me this time. I looked down at the kitchen counter and I could actually see the grout lines in the counter. Then I looked over to the other counter and I noticed there were no grout lines. Whoever redesigned that kitchen had given me 2 different kitchen counters. How dare they? But better than that, I could see it. It was like a baby learning that they had feet. It was like a baby learning that they had toes. I was living again. Well, went back to Dr. Huang and he looked at the progress. He said, you are seeing better. Normally could barely see the big E on the eye chart. Then I started reading the eye chart and I kept going and kept going down. And he said, try the next line. And I jokingly said to him, you want me to wow you, don't you? He said, yeah, because I'm liking what I see. He said, go get you some glasses. I was able to see the proximity that I was from things riding down the street. Am I that close to Wendy's? The little things that I never thought that I would be able to see, I was seeing again. I feel that I had gained weight during my 7 years of blindness. Then one day, I said, I'm going to try to go to the mailbox. So I walked to the end of the street to drop some mail in the box. And I walked back to the house. I said, if I did that, me being me, if I walk that far, maybe I can walk a little further and a little further. So I got into a routine of every Saturday and Sunday morning I would get up and I'll walk 3 miles. I don't do it for health's sake per se. Maybe I should, but the premise in doing it is because I can, because I have that back, and I refuse to let that go from me again. I refuse to let my independence die. Blindness is not a death sentence. But if you feel deep down inside that your illness or your situation can be corrected, seek out someone who possibly could help you. Don't give up. My vision is better because I tried it. My vision is better because I accepted the challenge. I was not happy the way I was. And I'm better now. I can see.